Your father's leaving you $61 million as an inheritance, but there's a catch. You have to live in a massive mansion alone with ghosts. If you move anybody in to live with you or you move out, you forfeit the entirety of the $61 million inheritance. What would you choose? This is the case of Sir George Sitwell and his unusual will to his son. He was an eccentric aristocrat in the UK, and he left his entire fortune in 1925 to his son, but with the stipulation he had to live in this haunted house alone. And the main reason for the stipulation was that George didn't want the ghosts to be disturbed by anybody else moving into the house. And the estate he was bound to live in is Renishaw Hall. It's an estate that was built in 1625, so you can only imagine the number of ghosts it had accumulated over those 400 years. So, let's meet our ghosts. Well, the family's ancient home, Renishaw Hall, wasn't just any old estate. It was actually haunted. One of the most famous spirits said to haunt the estate is known as the Grey Lady. Many believe she's the ghost of a servant who worked in the hall during the 1700s who died under suspicious circumstances. Those brave enough to walk the grounds at night have reported seeing her wandering the gardens, her face pale and emotionless. But she's not alone. Inside the mansion itself, visitors have felt sudden icy chills. The grand staircase, a towering structure in the heart of the mansion, has its own eerie presence. Multiple guests have claimed to see a tall, shadowy figure standing silently at the top of the stairs. When you try to approach, the figure vanishes. And then there are voices. In the dead of night, people have heard conversations, talking. And yet, Sir George wanted his son to live there, alone. And if his son, Osbert, refused, the estate would pass to a distant relative, and Osbert would lose everything. Now remember, this is 1925, and people believed in ghosts. So Osbert believed these ghosts lived there. Osbert files suit to have the conditions dismissed. This kicks off a long legal battle, not really over the money, but more over the conditions precedent for him to receive the money. Ultimately, Osbert wins, and the conditions are set aside, and he receives his inheritance without the obligation to live in the house with the ghosts. To this day, people still see the Grey Lady walking the grounds. They hear sounds, they hear laughter, they hear conversations. So what do you think? So here's a fact I could not find an answer to. I don't know if the son ever moved out of the house, moved into the house. If you know, please drop something in the comments and let me know. And as always, if you have something, a ghost story or a ghostly haunting that has a legal aspect to it, let me know and I'll do it.